I want to touch it.
Hello and welcome to MFSN's Fantasy Football Live Draft 2022. We're here for Fantasy Football. I am Dr. Dan Ratner. I'm here with Ross the Boss and Casey Scheinbold.
No, Vlad to the bone, Casey.
That's right.
Scheinbold.
Vlad to the bone, Casey. Okay, and the draft has now started. Ross, you're on the clock.
So I had the first pick. This is a weird draft. It's not the usual Casey Scheinfold snake draft with a quarterback, two running backs. This is a 2-quarterback league with 12 teams. So quarterbacks, you want to get a top tier
Just
quarterback.
make your pick already.
Quick.
No.
So
I want to see him talk through his entire pick.
I'm going to take from the University of Wyoming, Josh Allen will be my first pick.
Okay, so this is Superflex.
It's Superflex.
That's the reason
I took Josh Allen. I'm trying to explain to the audience why I took Josh Allen.
Go right ahead.
So the reason you want to get a quarterback, a top tier quarterback, and now I don't have to take a quarterback till later. I'll get a top tier 4 quarterback now. Like, I'll grab Fields, I'll grab Jones, I'll grab somebody like that as my other quarterback. You know what I mean? And then I can go after other positions. That's the strategy with Superflex. Tell me what's happening. I can't see.
Well, so far Josh Allen went, then Justin Herbert went. Now I took Patrick Mahomes. It's for the same reason that you're talking about. Meanwhile, we've got Alex, the Hustler, is with us. He says, "What up? What up?" And Sir Bongs a lot. Sir Bongs a lot has joined us. He's showing a sunshine coming out. I think.
A hustler,
I think that's
baby.
There it is. It must be the sun.
So the
Fantasy
top
Sports
tier
starting.
3 quarterbacks went 1, 2, 3, which is interesting.
Boy.
Because that's a great strategy.
All right. So look, this is what's happening with Superflex because people know by the time it comes around to that second round, who are you going to even have? If you wait on a quarterback, I actually think it could be trouble. But we'll see. Is Casey going to do it?
Casey Scheinfold is a very tricky fantasy player. He might not go quarterback here. He might go JT. He might go Christian McCaffrey. I don't know what this Casey Scheinfold's going to do. He's crazy.
Guys, he's not crazy. I've known him for a long time. But
look at him. He looks like an inmate.
I think I know what he's going to do. Actually, you got a kind of tough call because the quarterbacks here, are they as good? Jalen Hurts, bold call. Listen, you got to nail down one of those quarterbacks. This is hilarious, though. It's a super flex league, and we've got only quarterbacks drafted so far.
I would have went away from the quarterback after the top tier guys are gone. That's me. I would have went Christian McCaffrey or JT or
it was between Jalen Hurts
or somebody like that. But it's fine. I get it. People get nervous. It's a run on quarterbacks. We call this a run. When it's more than 3 positions in a row, that's a run.
All right. So
between Jonathan Taylor and Jalen Hurts for me, I was worried if 4 more quarterbacks go, I can't compete.
Listen, you can't. You didn't make a mistake. You're doing fine.
Just
the problem going first in the draft is I don't get to pick until 24th.
I know. Yeah, you're now picking at the turn basically.
And I'm drinking my no
Captain
sugar Dr. Pepper.
Drafting and ends up with Jonathan Taylor. That's impressive.
No sugar Dr. Pepper, who's our sponsor today.
Time's up, and he picks Jonathan Taylor by default. Not a bad pick at that point. All right, the Hustler's up. That was Captain Zach. I believe he's a friend of yours. Sir Bongs a lot is saying, "Good luck, bros. Good luck to you this season, Sir Bongs."
That is a friend of mine.
Just Captain. Bob has joined us. One of our favorites from the fantasy baseball waiver wire is now following us on football. Just Bob, welcome. And we've got Albert Mariquin has joined us. Says, "Sup, everyone. Good to see you, Albert. Thank you for joining us." Okay, Lamar Jackson now. I like that pick. Lamar Jackson, to me, is not really different than these other players. I know he had a down year, but the fact is, he's every bit as good as these other players. I would have taken him over Kyler Murray.
No, he's playing without a contract this year. He's doing what Aaron Judge did in baseball. He's going to have a really good season, I think, Lamar Jackson. He's going to be a top 5 quarterback for sure. He's heard it from me first. Ross the Boss. Lamar Jackson, top 5.
I agree. I think he is going to be top 5. But Jalen Hurts is a really interesting pick because of just how much he runs. If he starts passing well, he could be an absolute
monster. He has a new weapon now.
He has AJ Brown.
AJ Brown now.
Banking on
AJ Brown, and I think
guess who's up now? It's Miguel from our baseball league, Dan.
Miguel's coming up next. This is my good friend Reveal.
He's up after
and Reveal.
So we're still in the first round. There's some unbelievable talent. McCaffrey's not taken.
Cup's about to
not
go.
Taken. Jefferson's not taken.
Cup's about to go by default.
We got some great players that aren't taken yet.
No, Christian McCaffrey. He must have that must have been cued. He must have queued him up.
So McCaffrey's interesting because if he can stay healthy the whole year, he'll probably have the most fantasy points of any player in the league, I imagine.
Well, football players are going to, quarterbacks are football players.
Well,
quarterbacks are going to outscore him, but for his position, absolutely.
I mean, he has the all-time record for the most points ever.
I predicted last year that Christian McCaffrey, I don't wish this on him, but I predicted last year that he would play 10 more games in the NFL. I don't think
Brady.
I don't think he's going to last, but I hope I'm wrong because I never want to see that happen. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady pick, 45 years old.
All right. Well, this isn't a keeper dynasty league, so
45 years old. I think he led the NFL in passing last year.
He did. He did. He also rushed for like 56 yards.
I heard he's having
predicting
problems.
Trev is a buddy of mine
from not getting along
25 years ago. Yep, Joe Burrow. That was going to be a no-brainer to me.
Why? Is he a Bengals fan?
No, but he wanted to get a quarterback. To me, the last
Joe Burrow. He's a natural winner. As you guys know, I'm a big Bengals
and look at
fan.
The weapons he has.
I mean, he has the best trio of receivers with Boyd and Higgins and Chase. Those guys are the three amigos. They're unbelievable.
All right, now Chris Atwater, who is, by the way, is in this draft. He picked 4th. He picked Kyler Murray. He said, that's my concern with Lamar, Dan. Can he play a whole season? It's understandable.
Chris Atwater, there he is.
There's Aaron
Rodgers. He was at my wedding. Got really drunk. We had to carry him out. It was an embarrassment. I had video of that. We'll show a little later.
Ross continues to say that you were at his wedding when you were at mine. Look, Cooper Kupp and Justin Jefferson go at the turn. AZ Silverman, this is your friend Lee. He got the two best receivers. It's going to be really interesting.
Lee Silverman, Arizona State product, unbelievable fantasy player. He's one of the best. I've known him since college. Like you've known Casey since college. I've known Lee since college.
All right, slight correction. I did not know Casey in college. We met in
graduate school.
It was a long time.
What are the chances Trev doubles up? What are the chances Trev doubles up and takes Jamar Chase here to go with Joe Burrow?
I think the chance is actually quite high. However, I also think he could take a second quarterback. He could go with Travis Kelce if he wants to fill that tight end spot in a big way. He could go with Dak Prescott if he's, concerned about the Superflex setup. I mean, right now we already have 9 quarterbacks off the board.
I mean, I always go for the best player available now. I got my quarterback.
Yeah, you need at least one.
I need position players. So, my roster is not full yet.
This shows you the difference between Superflex. Najee Harris still available in the second round. I'm pretty sure Reveal's going to end up getting
Harris,
an auto pick.
They came out and said he had a little injury going into the last preseason game, which I didn't quite understand because he played in the preseason game. Well, if he's hurt, why is he playing? Either the dumbest people in the world, the trainers and the coach, or he wasn't really hurt. I don't know what's going on.
I think at this point, don't you think people are just sitting out the preseason a lot of the
time?
He
didn't sit out. He played.
Oh, well, what were you saying about him then?
Well, they came out and said he has a torn something that is bothering him the whole preseason. Instead of resting him, they played him. It doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make
Holy
any sense.
cow.
What?
Russ Wilson just went.
Yep.
The 11th quarterback off the board.
He signed a $240 million contract today, I think. Was it today or yesterday? Huge for Denver. I can't stand Russell Wilson as a fantasy player, but he's a good quarterback. He just fantasy-wise, he'll have like 4 games in a row where he doesn't do anything. I mean, he destroys. I never would tape ever again.
I mean, this is interesting, though. You're getting into a position where now the quarterbacks that are left on the board, let's take a look and see who's there. Matthew Stafford's got the elbow issue.
Yeah, but that's all BS. He'll be fine.
Yeah, but listen, there's not.
Najee has a sprained.
Not a lot of good quarterbacks. Najee has a sprained Lisfranc. That's right. So Albert,
I don't even know where that is in your body. I have no idea where that's at.
A Lisfranc, I believe, is in the foot.
It's your foot, bottom of your foot.
Well, you guys are both doctors, so you better know the answer to that question.
Well, Travis Etienne had I do actually know the answer. I was being modest. Travis Etienne had this injury. A lot of people have gotten it in recent years. It's not an injury that you ever heard about until recent years because they're getting more and more specific in what they're seeing. A lot of these injuries, though, hey, I'm a mind-body
So
guy.
he had that injury and he still played preseason, which made no sense to me. Big trade in the NBA. Congratulations to Dr. Dan Ratner.
I don't even know who it's going to pick for me.
Come on.
Derrick Henry.
You distracted me.
Oh
my God, that's a horrible pick. That's not what I wanted.
Well, it's not my fault.
It's nobody's fault but mine.
So, again,
that is not a happy pick.
I want to congratulate Dr. Dan Ratner of getting Devon Mitchell from Utah.
Why did it pick Swift anyway? I mean,
I know you'd think it would go with Henry.
It should go with the. Well, this is a lesson, guys. When you're drafting, even if you're the host, and listen, yeah, okay, thank you. There's a make sure I take auto draft off. I do have to do that because
I would
figure out how to do that.
Who just went? Joe Mixon. All your Bengals are off the board, Ross.
That was horrific. Deandre Swift, please. Who do you go with next?
Ooh, nice running back combo there.
Well, I know. I could have had either one of those, and instead I got Deandre Swift.
Swift's not a bad pick. Don't be so negative on Swift.
I don't want any part of the Detroit offense.
I don't either.
Dan, you're up.
I am up, and I'm going to, let's see here.
If I was you, Nick Chubb is available, Mr. Ratner.
Yeah, but see, by the time I pick again, there's not going to be a quarterback left on the board.
Yeah, but Nick Chubb is available, Dan Ratner.
Yes, I know that.
You already have Mahomes. You don't need a quarterback right now.
You lie. I do need a quarterback.
No, I'm not lying. I told you my plan is I'm getting a tier 4 quarterback later in the draft, like a Jones, a Fields.
We'll see if they're even available.
They'll be available. Who the hell's going to draft Daniel Jones? If you're a Giants fan, you might draft Daniel Jones. But if you are a Giants fan, you should put your head in the oven. I mean, you shouldn't be a worst team I've ever seen.
Okay, well, I'm not waiting around for a second quarterback to come to me at pick.
So you took Kirk Cousins in the 3rd round after you already had Mahomes.
That's correct.
So let's discuss this.
Let's discuss it.
You need to take position players before you take a second quarterback, folks.
You guys are going to be picking like Daniel Jones.
Take Daniel Jones. I'll take Fields. All
right, we'll see.
I'll take a lower tier quarterback if I can get high tier other guys. I just got 2 high tier. I got Henry and I got Henry and I got Cook, both high tier running backs.
If Henry or Cook were available, I wouldn't have taken Cousins.
Yeah, but you got Evans. You had Evans. You have a lot of available players.
A lot of these guys are going to be available later. You'll see.
But
I'm very unhappy with DeAndre Swift. I would never have picked him.
Well,
he's actually got not a bad. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'd rather have Henry or Cook, but I'd
rather
him
have
right
Mixon
there with Kamara and Barkley. I mean,
I'd rather have Nick Chubb. I'd rather have Aaron Jones.
Hustler took Lamar Jackson, Najee Harris, and now he has Aaron Jones. Nick Chubb is gone.
This is one of those moments where I didn't even realize I could actually care this much. You know, it's like one draft, and I'm like, I'll draft a good team. But getting DeAndre Swift, I am enraged about. This is
you're enraged because there's so much value in round 2.
Yes, DeAndre Swift is a horrific pick.
I want to see CeeDee Lamb shoot.
But if this was an auto draft and it was pick 4 for you and you got DeAndre Swift, you wouldn't be as angry.
If it was, 4th round or 4th pick overall?
4th
round, I'd be fine with him. But 2nd round?
It's so funny. Like, I'm trying to figure out who I'm picking next, but it's a waste of time. Why am I even looking?
Because by the time it gets to you.
I mean, I have like 20. I don't even know. Is there a counter that tells you when my
Trey Lance?
Now, I was thinking about Matthew Stafford, but I don't trust the elbow.
Yeah, see, I'm not taking quarterback till later.
You're going to have to see if they're available later.
There are some available. It's how
I
you
need
value
a tier. I want to get tier 1 players. Your whole thing is getting tier 1 guys. If I can get a tier 1, another running back or something like that, I'll do it.
You know who I'm Kyle
Deebo
Pitts.
Samuel goes.
Deebo Samuel, who's
Kyle Pitts.
He'll get some handoffs this year. He's going to have a huge year.
All right, now Chris Atwater said liked Lance, didn't think he would go this early. I didn't think he would go this early either. It's interesting because with Jimmy Garoppolo still on that team.
Oh, he's the highest played backup quarterback in the league.
But if Lance struggles at some point,
Shanahan will pull him so quick to make it red spin.
I don't. Not that I think it was a bad pick, especially in Superflex, but half the quarterback's already gone.
Is that a stat you made up, or did you figure that out?
That is a stat that I made up through mathematical counting.
You did. How many quarterbacks are taken, Dr. Dan Ratner?
Actually, it's not fully half. It's 15 out of 32. So not half. I was wrong, but it's soon to be half.
Flat to the bone.
Javonte
Williams. You know, beginning of the fantasy football drafts, he was in the second round. Now he's dropped to the 4th round.
Now, tight end, that's something I'm waiting on. Not interested in drafting a tight end here. Though, if I could have had, I probably would have taken Mark Andrews over Deandre Swift.
Oh, you really? We should
You're
have
really burning about this one.
I don't think I would have picked Swift even in the 4th round. I hope that he blows up and makes me look like an absolute fool.
Mike
Evans, T. Higgins. We've got a lot of good wide receivers going here. We've got a lot of good running backs left. Yeah, there's definite value here. There goes A.J. Brown.
Darn it.
A.J. Brown, who Casey Sheffield was looking at.
That's who my next pick was going to be.
Casey's in Pennsylvania if nobody knew, so he knows the Eagles very well.
Not an Eagles fan, but I know him.
He's not, but he's brainwashed, so he thinks all these Eagles are probably overvalued because that's all he hears is, Hurts and Brown and Sermon.
The Hustler just asked, how you guys liking your teams? Loving mine. I look at your team, Alex. It looks pretty good to me. You got Lamar Jackson. You got 2 great running backs, both better than mine, and A.J. Brown at wide receiver, which means your wide receiver is going to be better than mine.
Listen, the drafts aren't won in the first 3-4 rounds. Drafts are won in the last.
No, but they can be lost in the first couple rounds. And Deandre Swift is
all these guys, it's a grab bag. When these guys get hurt, or you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you could draft a guy. Your first round draft pick can get hurt tomorrow.
Well, that's certainly true, but it can't. It does not feel particularly.
Oh, it's my
good.
pick.
Yeah, no.
Oh
shit.
yeah, you're up. Language, Ross.
Sorry,
that's okay. Who's Casey looking at here? Let's see. He's got a wide receiver. He's got a running back. He's got a quarterback.
I think I know he's going to take.
Interesting.
Cortland Sutton.
All right.
He should
Dan,
have
you're up.
Tua goes
in Denver.
Well,
he should have a big year this year. Cortland Sutton.
I'm betting on him connecting with Russell.
Wow,
Wilson.
Tua went in the 4th round. That's amazing.
This is a tough call. Maybe I should pick Deandre Swift. I'm kidding.
You can't. He was taken.
I know.
He was taken. Some idiot took him in the 2nd round. Uh-oh. James Conner.
Dan has never been less excited about his running backs in his life.
No. James Conner in the 4th I would have been fine with, but...
So I think a trigger is good. If I say Swift, it's going to be a trigger for Dan the rest of the year for sure.
It might be for the rest of my life.
I had to say Swift,
DeAndre Swift has never been on any of my teams because he plays for the Lions. He's injury prone. They're not going to score. There's very little to like about that pick. I can't believe it happened.
I'd rather say DeAndre Swift, and it's like a huge trigger.
But I also just don't understand why it happened. I mean, if I was on auto draft, it should have taken Derrick Henry. However, it is my fault. I needed to be paying attention. Though I will say, I am hosting a fantasy sports draft. Yes?
And just because we're psychologists and you'd understand this, I actually feel bad about not telling you it was your pick.
That is so like Casey and me. We would be guilty about that. Ross, I mean this as a compliment, actually. You are not burdened by that. And I'm proud of you for it.
Thank you.
All right, Keenan Allen goes. Let's see. So now we've got, oh my God.
Tight end.
I took Dalton Schultz. I think Dalton Schultz is going to
You're up, Dan.
Thank you for telling me. I
Schultz is going to be the third-rated tight end this year over Pitts. I have a feeling. I don't know why.
Okay, well, I'm going to look at wide receivers now.
I took Keenan Allen. You know why I took him? Because I know the Hustler wants him because he was talking how great he is. And I'm a big Keenan Allen fan.
Reese Hall.
So I'll trade with the Hustler, and I'll rip him off in a trade. So he'll be like, he thinks he's getting a great player, and I'm really ripping the guy off. Get it?
You got to love him announcing it on a live broadcast that everyone's watching and that Alex is watching himself and is in.
He loves Keenan Allen. We argued about it. I'm not a big Keenan Allen fan.
So let me ask you then, what do you think about the fact that I took Mike Williams?
I love Mike. I like Mike Williams. Either one's going to have over 1,000 yards and both have at least 8 touchdowns each.
I like the value that I've gotten here.
I like Mike Williams a lot, actually.
And I'm happy to have these two great quarterbacks. I don't mind my team so much. Anyone out there, I will trade Deandre Swift for
a ham sandwich.
Somebody you got later. I really will. Not a ham sandwich. Alex says, by the way, Ross, and this is about Keenan Allen. Boss, you're crazy. So we're going to see who ends up being right here. The pick is to Captain Zach.
Captain Zach will get you high tonight.
I was just thinking that. Yep. Now, why is he Captain Zach 13? Do you know?
I play softball with Zach. He's actually an unbelievable softball player. He's great.
George Kittle's a good pick. Oh, I was sitting on the Hustlers killing me. AJ Brown and Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence is actually Trevor Lawrence.
That was my hope for quarterback 2 in the wraparound.
Listen, I thought about taking him in the 3rd round.
Good pick, Hustler. I do know why you love your team.
Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. Meanwhile, I'm going to try to keep it in the frame so people can see the different teams. But eventually, I got to be able to see where are we drafting. Ezekiel Elliott in the 5th round. What do you guys think about that? I think it's a good pick, but there's risk to it.
I think
the Cowboys' best offensive lineman's out until like November, December. Smith. Zeke's getting older. He lost a bunch of steps. He's been hurt almost every year. I don't love Zeke this year, but getting him in the 5th round, I think is a really good bargain. Yes,
that's a great value.
It's good value. Would
I
draft him? No.
Picking now is my friend Andy, who is also our dog's vet.
Do you know what college he went to? Do you know what school he went to?
He went to Ithaca.
My vet went to Ohio State.
J.K. Dobbins, interesting. All right. Hold on one second.
Move it up a little so I can. There you go.
Yes. Okay. We've got CEH, who some call MEH. Meh. I don't know if you guys heard that one. He has not been great. Serviceable. I don't trust running backs in the KC offense very much.
Okay.
There's still a lot of great value to be had, though.
Kareem Hunt.
Backup running back.
Is your friend a big Cleveland fan?
He is a Browns fan. He is afflicted like me.
I wouldn't touch a Kansas City running back. I wouldn't touch them at all. Which I'm surprised somebody.
Unlike most defenses. Chris Atwater says Ithaca is gorgeous. Do you guys know that joke? It's an Ithaca joke.
No,
or a Cornell joke.
I never heard an Ithaca joke in my life.
There's a lot of gorges in that area. So they say it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. That's the joke.
Wow.
Now let's see. Trevor, I gotta see if I can see more of the screen. Antonio Gibson, very interesting pick. He kind of very much backed into that situation, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really did. I mean, he was
Looked like he was just going to be a
returning kickoffs like in preseason. He was the kickoff returner for Washington, and now with Robinson getting shot twice last week.
Not on 2 different occasions, but yes, he was shot twice.
Well, he was shot.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a sad thing.
Let's not mislead the audience here.
It's just a
Scary
sad
Terry.
situation.
DK Metcalf, great
I hate-
receivers,
I
bad quarterbacks.
hate the Seahawks offense this year. I'm not
How-
drafting one Seahawk this year.
I know, because they have Geno Smith throwing to them.
It's just not. I mean, their offensive line is really bad. I mean, their team is not good.
It's almost like if you had Deandre Swift. Oh, I like the Jacobs pick. That's good value from Chris Atwater.
I think you're up.
Well, that's true. I am. Maybe I should just delay it. And
You hear
pick
that
some
sound?
horrible
That sound.
player.
If you see that sound and you see the yellow, that means you're up.
Yep. All right, let's see here. We got some wide receiver options. Interesting. Well. Very hard for me to pass up this one particular player. Oh my God. But
Who
you
is
know
it?
what?
Tell me so I can get him.
This is tough. I'm going to go with my gut on this. What do you think?
Davis. That's a good pick.
Who did you take?
Gabriel Davis.
I like Gabriel Davis.
You know, he had an unbelievable. Was it a playoff game? I think it was like.
Yeah, he had 4 touchdowns or whatever in the first
mean-
playoff game. It was ridiculous.
I mean, he had an unbelievable game. Everybody watched it. It was one of the highest rated football games of the year. So every fantasy player saw him do that. It's not like a big surprise.
Well,
He
listen,
just want-
if
he just wanted
DeAndre
to
Swift
make
ends
you-
up being decent, I actually like my team.
So I took my second quarterback. I took Matt Ryan. And then
You mean Matt Ryan?
I'm going to take. I'm taking Elijah Mitchell because now
That's a good pick.
they only have like 2 backup running backs. There's like it's his job.
Yeah. Well, listen, and if he doesn't get injured, he's going to be great.
Well, that's like, can we say that about every player in fantasy football? If he doesn't get injured,
No,
be great.
no, Ross, come on. You can say about any player, but he has an injury history. That's different.
Mozart. I mean, I can go through the history of a lot of players that have a lot of horrible luck when it comes to injury.
Yep.
See, now I don't pick till like 24 picks. So I just sit here like an idiot. I have to talk to you guys. So basically, so far the draft.
That kind of hurts my feelings a little bit.
Oh, my friend Alex just took my pick. Godwin was the other guy I was thinking. Okay, now I got to figure out what I'm doing here.
I like Chris Godwin.
Oh, that burns. Let's see here. Wow.
So some of the players that are available.
Well,
1 minute goes fast.
I mean, I like. It's so funny in the quarterback position. We're down to Fields, Matt.
I don't like this pick much at all, but that's okay.
that's
Tannehill.
I was looking at him.
Well, listen,
Wentz.
in a league that has a tight end spot, when you can get a guy at that level, Waller's at least going to be decent, but he could be a real difference maker at that position. What were you saying, Ross?
The quarterbacks are like almost gone.
That's what I told you.
That's why I took.
And again,
Fields.
you
I didn't
did get
have
Matt
much
Ryan, so you're
choice.
fine. So you had to settle for Justin Fields, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, now Chris Atwater says Waller is disgruntled and injured.
He
But
just signed a
um,
big contract.
He's about to sign a big contract. He just got a new agent.
Yeah.
So that means he should be more gruntled.
He should be less gruntled. Right.
Yes.
Less disgruntled, more
Yeah,
gruntled.
unfortunately, gruntled is not a word. Michael Thomas goes there.
Amon Ross St. Brown.
I like Amon-Ra St. Brown decently. You'd be surprised. Oh, Chris Atwater says, I take it back then. Sorry. Well, listen, he does have some nagging injuries going on, but I don't know. I'm pretty happy with Waller there. I would much rather have Godwin though. I had a chance at him. I wonder if I had taken Godwin when I took Gabriel Davis, if I would have gotten Gabriel Davis. Don't know.
Probably not. No, it's probably one or the other. There's no way he would have got it. There's no way.
I almost got them both.
Missed it by this much.
That would have been quite a haul. Now I'm scrolling down to see who's available.
Scrolling down, looking at
down.
Dan's team. Dan needs a lot of help here. We'll do an experiment here. Watch what happens when I say Deandre Swift.
Ha!
step by step,
He's turning green.
inch by inch.
The good news is Deandre Swift, it's not like I picked a complete automatic bust there, but it's just not the player that I would want at all.
It's really a trigger.
Deandre, my apologies. You're a hardworking guy who made it all the way to the NFL. You're a star player. I shouldn't be ripping on you like this.
But the trigger
You
for
and I
Dan
are in
this
it together
season
now.
is you say either Ian Happen baseball or you see Deandre Swift and
Hunter Dozier.
Hunter Dozier.
Some interesting picks going on. We've got Smith
Brandon
Schuster.
Cooks is good value there.
Brandon
Brandon
Cooks is good
Cooks
value.
has 1,000 yards.
Davis Mills was a top 15 quarterback the second half of the season.
I know, isn't that crazy?
And where did he go to college?
Wait a minute. I knew this. He went to Stanford.
Yep, Pac-12 product.
Yep. I'm always amazed though. Ross knows like
I know a lot.
everyone. Like
A
you're
lot.
probably gonna remember that my vet went to Ithaca.
Ithaca, yep.
Let's see. Chris Atwater says Dozier, Swift, Hap, baby.
Chase Edmonds is a great pick.
Ooh, that is
like
a
that
fantastic pick there.
Chase
Well
Edmonds
done, Lee.
he catches passes. He will get the ball majority of the time.
He's a starting running back,
Miami.
and Miami's an underrated offense actually at this point. That's a very good pick. I love it, man. When I scroll down though and I see who's left, there's some very suspect players left here. Like at the top of the list, I'm looking. I don't want to draft any of these top 5 guys. No offense if you're planning to, and if you need a tight end, it's one thing. That's fine. And I suppose if you need a second
I do see some really good value that has not been taken.
There is some good value.
There's some really good value, and there's some really busts that I won't take. But there's some people I do like.
Yeah, no, there's always good value.
I mean, again, I will stress this to you, and the Hustler can tell you the same thing. Leagues are won and lost between the 7th and 11th round. That's where you get your. Let me ask you guys a question. Last year, where do you think Cooper Kupp was drafted? What round?
Oh, that was who I want.
Cooper Kupp probably went in the 3rd round.
I was hoping I could get.
No, last year he averaged 9th round.
9th
Cooper
round.
Kupp.
Wow, it's
9th
funny
round.
how
That's what he
quickly we
averaged.
revise our history.
Jonathan
9th round.
Taylor was like 3rd or 4th round last year.
By the way, note this. Pierce, I think, is a great pick.
That's what I just said. Damian Pierce was somebody I wanted.
Again, he plays for Houston, guys. So I know he has the job. I know he's
still
a rookie.
all-town running back. To
But
get
he plays
that
in
in the
Houston.
8th round?
I know, but they'll be their defense isn't that good. They'll be behind in games. They'll be throwing the ball. He's not the greatest pass catcher. So
Okay,
let's
Drake
not
London.
don't pretend he's like the up-and-coming great stud. He'll have a good year. He's not going to change or break your team at all. No. It's finding that Cooper Kupp from last year. That's going to make your team.
I mean, look, those really are the things that make fantasy seasons happen. When you find Cooper Kupp in the 9th round.
But you don't want to be a chaser. You want to be a guy that a visionary guy. You want to be a guy that sees the vision of this.
Yeah, you want to have the vision to wait until your pick runs out of time, accidentally pick Deandre Swift.
That's going to be it. I mean, folks, we're all trained psychologists here, and Deandre Swift obviously is a trigger for Dr. Dan Ratner, and he'll be a trigger for a long time here.
Ross has now been working with Casey and I long enough that he is a trained therapist.
That means it's your pick, Dr. Dan Ratner.
Okay,
That's sound.
Well, let me see something.
Here he goes. Watch what he does. He does some magic here. Casey's watching.
Give me some Ramondre Stevenson. I actually am very happy about that pick. I think Ramondre Stevenson is going to be better than Deandre Swift.
Is it my pick?
Yeah,
it is your pick.
I just always worry about a Bill Belichick.
So I'm going to take.
Oh, I do. I just think the value's there. Casey, listen. I just think the value's there, especially if Harris goes down. He could be an absolute monster. So it's really just about the value at that point. Oh, I like the Thielen pick.
Thanks, Dr. Dan Ratner.
There's a lot of value still. I'm feeling so much better now.
So I just took my 3rd quarterback.
Okay.
And the reason I did that was so I can maybe trade one of them during the season.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea.
And Jared Goff, you guys don't watch Hard Knocks. I do. He's having a great piece. I mean, he looks great. He's going to have a big year.
Yeah, there are. Ooh. This will be interesting. This is probably a terrible pick, but I cannot resist.
Tell me who, please, so I can talk you out of
Well,
it.
show us.
All right, I'm gonna try to be. I'm going to be visionary here.
I like it. Who is it?
He's not even starting yet.
Who is it?
Kenny
Take a
Pickett.
look.
I can't see.
Kenny Pickett.
I rather have Kenny Pickett than Geno Smith. I'll tell you that much.
Oh, absolutely. But listen, I think that Kenny Pickett is going to be the starting quarterback by week 4.
And remember, Kenny Pickett is not like a 21-year-old rookie. He's a 24-year-old rookie. So,
plus, listen,
he's an older guy.
I've seen the Steelers do this with their quarterbacks before. The minute they picked him, I was like, he's going to be great. And now, the reason I like it is he's going to start this year. And by the time he's starting, then if I need help, I can deal Kirk Cousins. I think a lot of people would not agree.
Aaron
with me on
Rodgers
that.
has to throw to somebody.
I think a lot of people would not agree with me on
Who
that.
did you
pick,
take,
but
Case?
Lazard.
Lazard's great value. Oh,
Ooh.
DeAndre Hopkins was the other guy I was thinking about there. He's
I just don't
suspended
like-
until week 7, I believe.
Week 8, I
Yes.
think.
7.
But still, if Captain Zach survives, well enough to that point,
I like Elijah Moore.
huge value. I like Elijah Moore. He was coming on
I
strong.
just worry about Zach Wilson, whose mom he's sleeping with. Or
Oh, I love that whole story about the mom and the whole thing. I love it. He's my new hero now.
Tony Pollard's a great pick,
That is a
especially
great
if
pick.
you have Zeke. Does he? That's not who has Zeke.
It's a good handcuff. We call that a handcuff in the business.
No, but it's true. The guy who needed him was Trev, who's picking now.
He's probably cursing.
Yeah, although he didn't. Oh no, he had 2 quarterbacks.
I'm surprised. Some guys I'm surprised who have not been picked. Almost every quarterback has been picked. Are you taking Deshaun Watson?
Not now. Listen, I actually have to say I do not have high hopes for Deshaun Watson when he returns. I think he's going to be very rusty. I think the Browns are a mess.
Justin Tucker, the first kicker off the board.
Was that an auto pick? Maybe not.
That was an auto pick. The Hustler and I don't take kickers and defense till like the last round.
I won't. I won't.
I mean, Hustler, it's like, why?
Ooh, George Pickens. I like that pick. Chris Atwater says, I think y'all will like Olave. I think that's definitely true. Fun to watch, and Thomas is a flake. I agree. Will be the number 1 guy as the season goes on. I agree. Olave is going to get stronger and stronger. And I'll tell you, it would certainly be a different story if Drew Brees were the quarterback there, because Olave would be a monster.
Olave, Ohio State product. He looks great in preseason. Very fast receiver, great hands. He should have a good year for New Orleans. I see him 1,000-yard receiver.
This is not the team I expected, but I have to say I'm not upset about it, except for DeAndre Swift. And even he is like, it's not like I got
You didn't get hosed.
a 9th round value there.
Yeah.
Whose turn is it?
It is
the
the
Ithaca
Wild Squad.
veterinarian.
Okay, all right. So I'm pretty sure that well, maybe not auto. He got it in. Carson Wentz. All right. Axis Smith.
There's a good pick.
Hunter Renfro. I like that.
See, I don't think Renfro's going to have a big year.
See, I think he's
because
going to
of
have a
Adams.
huge year because you're going to have to double team Adams and Walker and Waller.
You can't double team 2 guys. In
Ooh,
the same
Exactly,
play.
but those are the 2 they're going to
Okay,
focus on, and he's going to be like.
See,
Leave
The one
that comment
player-
up there.
the one player I'm staying away from this year is Hunter Renfro. I'm not
Oh,
drafting
no.
him in any leagues.
He is the Hunter Dozier of hunters
I'm
in
not
football.
touching Hunter Renfro. I think he's going to have.
Okay, wait, hold on. We've got
We'll
somebody
see.
asking us to rate their team. Axis Smith says rate my team.
Okay.
14 team PPR.
I'm reading.
Okay. Stafford, Cousins. I wonder if it's Superflex. Does
Is this a Superflex? It must be a Superflex.
I don't know. Stafford, Cousins,
Daniel Jones,
Dalvin Cook,
Yeah.
Etienne, Brees Hall, Ramondre, Madison, T. Higgins, Hollywood, Mooney, Allen Robinson, Dotson, and Pitts. For a 14-team PPR, that's pretty insane.
That's an A- draft.
It's not Superflex.
I mean, are you playing against nuns or against people that don't watch football or?
everyone's been in a league with nuns. It happens all the time.
I mean, how do you get all those players in a 14-team league?
Well, listen, you
But
know
not
how that is
Superflex.
in the draft. When you watch somebody,
No, that's a really great draft.
when you watch somebody in round 9 and they're taking Kenny Pickett, and you're like, good, I wasn't looking at him. I'm kidding.
I like Kenny Pickett. I think it's a great pick.
Thank you,
Oh, it's
sir.
my pick.
Hey,
Quarterback
listen,
pick.
you said I have to be visionary, and that, to me, he's going to be a
not
great
arguing with
starting
you.
quarterback. And then I can deal Cousins when it's time. Plus, listen, in Superflex with the buys, you really need a third quarterback in there.
I'm going to make
I
a pick
took
that's going to
Goff.
make Dan pucker a little bit.
You know,
Uh-oh.
I just think that if you have a third quarterback, you can use it as trade bait too.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, now I want to talk about the Baker Mayfield pick. I'm gonna come out and say it. I could be wrong. Wait, hold on. I have to draft.
Your
I'll
pick.
get back to this in a second.
I got to remind Dr. Dan Ratner because
I am surprised this guy is here.
he's surprised he's here.
I will take him.
Who is it?
That's a good pick. Rashad Penny.
Rashad Penny. I mean, Kenneth Walker, I just don't know when he's coming back. And, Penny's going to have a big role there.
Oh, it's my pick. Thanks for telling me, guys.
Oh, I'm
You have
sorry.
2 picks.
I'm concentrating because I have to. I was telling a story there, too. What was I going to say?
About Baker Mayfield.
About Baker Mayfield. Thank you, sir. You're a psychologist. You hold on to things and
I do. I retain.
remember what
stuff.
people are saying.
So what were you saying?
Well, I can't tell you yet because I need to think about my pick. I'm going to get there. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on Baker Mayfield.
Brandon Ayuk. That's a good pick.
Brandon Ayuk.
Arizona State. You can't go wrong, right?
That's why I took him.
Okay, so Axis Myth says many trades, maybe 15 to 16. It's a hometown league. They're pretty okay players. Okay, so it sounds like he amassed that team with some trades. Axis, is this a keeper league or redraft? Because that goes a long way.
I'm taking another Sun Devil next. Watch this.
He loves the
Rashad White.
Okay, wow,
2 Sun Devils in a row.
a lot of great value.
And I'm
here.
wearing a Sun Devil shirt. And they play today against Northern Arizona. They open up against NAU, which I'm excited to watch at 7:00.
This is interesting.
Very interesting, Mr. Smart.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
This isn't exactly what I wanted to do, but I'm very high on this guy. I think he's
Who is
going to be
it?
great. James Cook. The Buffalo backfield is fairly crowded right now.
Singletary, Cook, Zach
But-
Moss.
One injury, and he's got a huge role.
I think he has a good role anyway.
I think he does
Zach,
anyway.
I think Zach Moss is the big loser in Buffalo, unfortunately. And I think Singletary should have a pretty good year. I mean, I don't know if you watched them during preseason, but they look like a high-octane offense. They look great.
It's probably the offense I'd want to have the most pieces of possible. And I agree with you about taking Josh Allen first.
There went Deshaun Watson.
Chris Atwater says Troy is opening with Ole Miss, hoping our guys aren't all coming home in ambulances. So Chris Atwater he's a big college football guy as well. He's also a
Big
Saints
SEC
fan.
guy. He loves his SEC.
He does love the SEC. Oh, Deshaun Watson going in the 11th round in a super flex. Listen, by the time we get around to week 11, I will say this, though. Remember this. The trade deadline's around week 11. But that gives him plenty of time to deal right there.
Yeah, but
Lockett, not a big fan just because of Geno Smith and Drew Lock behind him. It feels like a great indictment. You guys know Jacob Eason?
yeah.
Okay, so Jacob Eason was, a Colts prospect at quarterback, the son of Tony Eason, and he couldn't make it with the Colts, and then caught on with the Seahawks and could not even get mentioned into the competition with Drew Lock and Geno Smith. That's a pretty bad indictment. Z Smitty is asking, should I draft Pickens or Gallup? Okay, I have my answer. I'm gonna give you guys a chance to weigh in first.
I love George Pickens. I feel he's the real deal. He didn't play much in college. He was hurt most of his whole college career. I feel Pittsburgh's crazy about this guy. I mean, they can't wait for him to get on the field. So I say George Pickens just because he could be one of these guys that will just light it up this year. So I'm taking Pickens.
Casey?
In Pittsburgh or top rookie? Sorry.
Should I draft Pickens or Gallup is the question.
Ooh, I like Gallup. I still trust Dak Prescott to spread the ball around more than I trust
Mitch Trubisky.
Right.
I think, though,
whoever's throwing the ball in Pittsburgh right now.
All right, so I'm the deciding vote because Trubisky's not going to be throwing the ball in Pittsburgh for very long, I don't think. Although Mitch Trubisky is from Cleveland, so I'm a fan of his in that way.
He is from Cleveland.
But I think Pickens is the guy because later in the draft, those are the guys that can win you the league. This is why I went with James Cook. It's why I went with Kenny Pickett, Ramondre Stevenson. These are values that also have huge upside. I could be wrong. I mean, I'm the guy who drafted Deandre Swift, but I didn't mean to.
Inadvertently.
Exactly. I did not mean to. There's still great value. I love it in these drafts. I look at them and I'm like, wow, there's still great value. Let's see. Zach Wilson finally goes. The Buffalo Bills defense. Interesting that they couldn't.
I'm not a big fan of drafting defenses early because I drop and add defenses every week. I'm one of those guys. I'm a
the matchups. I mean,
that's what I do. I mean, Buffalo opens up with the Rams, I believe, on Thursday night. Am I right, Case? And
yes.
I mean, the Rams offense.
You do not want to play against the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing I want to play against. And Buffalo has like a first place schedule, so it's going to play their non-conference games are going to be against top tier teams, so it's going to be a very tough schedule for them.
I'm in total agreement. I experimented with picking like a defense a little bit earlier, or maybe a kicker in the second to last round, and it never pays.
No, I drop kickers like crazy.
I sometimes don't even draft a kicker at first because
you did that last year, and I yelled at you.
That's right. Why did you yell at me about that?
I
like that pick.
Who is it?
Chase Claypool.
Notre Dame.
In round 12.
I think Claypool has dropped tremendously in all these drafts.
When you're talking about Pickens and
I have no idea why he's dropping so much. I mean, he's such a stud. He really is. And
I think people are just scared off by Ben Roethlisberger not being there, which is actually kind of funny because
it's a good thing.
Ben Roethlisberger hasn't been that great of a quarterback.
Casey Scheinfeld can throw the ball further than Ben his last season. I mean, his arm was. I mean, did you see that one game when he had 18 passes to the running back out of the backfield? That it was like unbelievable.
Oh, Sky Moore, great pick by the Hustler.
Yeah, let me talk about Sky Moore.
By the way, the Hustlers team is stacked.
Are we surprised?
Reed does not like to use rookies at all in the offense, so it's not that great of a pick, Hustler.
Interesting. All right, you know what? I didn't tell my Baker Mayfield story. It's not much of a story, but I'm rooting for the guy. I'm rooting for the guy. Honestly, the Browns so disgust me that I actually want Baker Mayfield to beat the Browns. I'm going to come out and say it.
Did you hear what he said about the Browns game?
Well, no, I heard what he was quoted as saying.
That's what I meant. You hear the quote? I love it.
Yes, because he says he just agreed with somebody who was like, "Are you gonna kick their asses?" And he was like, "Yeah."
Okay, right, Dan, that means it's your turn.
Now, what am I gonna do here? I thought I had it all. Oh, I like this. Yeah, I think I can go with this.
Jesus.
What do you think of Jahan Dotson?
I'm a big fan. Well, I'm a Penn State guy, so I'm always a fan of Jahan Dotson. But like, somebody needs to be the number 2 quarterback there in Washington. He's had a great preseason.
Yep.
And I've seen the catches he was making last year in college. If he makes catches, if his hands are as good in the pros as they were in college, he's going to be a stud. He's a little small, so he might get his butt kicked around a little bit. But
yeah, but I feel like Tyreek Hill is not so much bigger than Dotson. You put on a little weight, you're Tyreek Hill. Well, you have to have his speed and moves. Okay. I like the picks. It's me
again.
So
I took Boyd because I feel Boyd is – I'm going to say the word, and you're going to say, why are you saying this word with Tyler Boyd? I'm saying it because he's a handcuff. If one of
I
those,
like Algier.
I like
That's good
Algier
stuff.
too, but I feel
thought it was
Boyd's
Allgaier.
very handcuff. I'm excited about that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think he's going to end up the starting running back by week 6, I'd say.
University of Utah, I believe, right?
Was it Utah
BYU.
or BYU? I thought it was BYU.
BYU.
Amazing. Ross didn't know a college.
BYU. I knew the state. I was
You did well enough, and you have a lot of street
okay.
cred
So
on
I got to look at my team now. I have no idea what I
He
have
just went.
left.
Well, Chris Atwater just picked Christian Watson. I do like that pick a lot. Huge.
So I
upside.
took Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's bigger, faster than any running back in Kansas City. I believe he's going to be the big breakout star this year, running back wise, that people don't know. So you heard it from me first. He's my breakout performer of the year, and I got him in the 15th round, 14th round.
You got him in the 12th round,
13th.
right at
So-
the end, but still
12th,
right at
13th.
the end of the 12th. I think
And
it's a good pick.
I like Boyd. I like Tyler Boyd. I told you that's a handcuff. I now have one pick left, and then I have 2 position picks left.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Once you get to this point in the draft, now you actually have to look and see, okay, who's the one guy I'm going to take? Because you're going to have to pick a defensive.
Well, the thing
kicker
about
if you're
my
gonna
thing,
field the team.
because I picked first, and now I don't pick till like I have 20 picks. I'm not even going to look because
Oh,
I see
guess,
like
yeah, we
I see Michael Golub is still available. I see Casey's Tony still available.
There's a lot of good players still available. Oh, my God. Oh,
A guy I like a lot is Jesse Palmer for the Chargers. He's gonna if he's healthy, he's good.
I'm having trouble picking now because there's a lot of.
Somebody that somebody that I like and the Hustler likes, just because Hopkins is not going to play until week 7 or 8, whatever it is AJ Green for the
AJ Green.
Cardinals.
Interesting.
Because he could be like the number 1 receiver now, because Hollywood Brown is questionable. I guess he's going to play. I don't know, but I think AJ Green. Why am I saying AJ Brown? AJ Green could be a.
Well,
good
I mean, they
middle
are
line
both
pick.
colors.
And I bet
What do you think about
that,
AJ White? I'm kidding.
I bet you that the Hustler takes him. I'm surprised Darrell Henderson is not gone.
That is surprising.
Yeah, because I mean, you can't trust Cam Akers.
No. I'm surprised Hunter Henry's not taken.
Yeah, let's go through some surprises that we have so far.
It's funny. What is funny about your Pickens pick?
About
Pickett,
which? Pickett? Any Pickett? Yeah.
Pickett. The starting quarterback at Pittsburgh is not even taken yet.
Yeah.
That. Oh no, I thought Mitch Trubisky was taken, wasn't he?
No, I don't think so.
Not yet.
No.
I guess not. You're right.
Is it my turn? No.
Well, maybe I should take him. That way, I'll
I
definitely
think
have
it's
him
the Wad squad right now.
No, Lee Silverman is picking, but Chris Atwater says, I like the new platform, by the way. We did switch from Yahoo to Sleeper. Sleeper's got some really cool functions. It's at first, it took a little bit of getting used to, but I love it. You can click on a player, and it shows like the history that, especially if you're playing in a Dynasty league, Sleeper all the way. But it shows all kinds of different things. You can click on the players and find out about them. Nico Collins, good pick.
I'm shocked that Nicole Hardman is still available.
Nicole Hardman was injured.
He'll be ready for the regular season. It's
I don't
just a
think he's-
chancy pick. You just don't know what player
But
you're
who
going to
else?
get.
I mean, you got Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce, but do you really trust Schuster? He hasn't been effective in.
Well, what about Sky Moore?
He's a rookie, and
know.
Andy Reid hates rookies, so don't get so high on Sky
true.
Moore.
Remember, he started Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He'll never start a rookie again.
The last rookie that was actually effective for him was this guy named Tariq Hill. I don't know if you guys remember him. He
Oh
played
no, I
for
think
him.
there was a guy named Patrick Mahoney.
He didn't start this first year. Good try though.
That's true. He sat for
He
an entire
didn't
year.
play.
I know.
I like that Madison pick because Cook, likely to miss some games in Madison.
I don't think Madison's the handcuff anymore. They drafted a running back that's the handcuff.
Oh, Madison's still the handcuff.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so? You think what's his name? Chandler? Is that his name?
Chandler, yeah.
Well, I hope you're right because I have him in Dynasty.
I don't think Minnesota's so high on Madison this year. We'll see. I could be wrong.
Now, I'm looking at whether this is also where you kind of check on your depth. If you're looking,
Yeah, that's what I keep looking at.
If there's a split between two players, you look at your depth and see what you got.
I forgot I drafted Delvin Cook. I don't know. I have no idea how I got Delvin Cook and Henry on the same team.
Well, listen, it was a Superflex league that was going crazy with quarterbacks.
Yeah, but
all right. This guy was all the
there
rage
goes Henderson.
Earlier in camp. I'm hoping he actually does have some.
I'm looking
chemistry.
at my team. Elijah Mitchell. I think that was a good pick by me.
Oh yeah, Romeo Dobbs. I like that pick.
I like Romeo Dobbs too. I think he could be the number one receiver in Green Bay. He was my sneaker pick later, but somebody else beat me to it.
That would be me.
It's your pick.
It is my
Watch this, guys. Deandre Swift. Watch his face. Smiles. Deandre Swift.
This is a guy that I'm going to pick so that I can deal Deandre Swift.
Oh, good. I'm going to make a trade right now for him.
I like the guy who went right after me, actually, also. But I like Davis. I like what's his name? Davis Price better because of team context. Ross is on the clock. It's ticking. He doesn't know what he's going to do.
I'll probably let me take a defense, and then I'm going to take a kicker.
Well, that'll round out your team. That's kind of what you're supposed to do.
So I took the Chargers.
Dan,
the Chargers. The first game the Chargers play is Vegas.
Okay, well, I'm going to take a player that I can stash on my injured list. I'm not taking a kicker. No, I'll pick him up later. I picked up the unfortunate Brian Robinson.
Now, the reason I drafted those two players because I had the last.
I'm going to do the same thing you're doing, Dan.
I had the last pick of the draft.
Nice.
And what do we call the last pick of the draft?
Mr.
Irrelevant.
So I get the honor of Mr. Irrelevant. I can't say it this year. So I'm excited for that pick. So I'm going to try to figure out who that's going to be. I got a while to go, but I got my defense and my kicker.
That's good. I'll pick up a kicker after I put Brian Robinson on the IR.
And I'm going to do the same with.
They say Brian Robinson. I've been following that story because I have him in some of my best ball leagues.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be back like week 4.
Well, if that's true, then imagine, given what Antonio Gibson's status is in that clubhouse, imagine me getting Brian Robinson in round 15.
No, it's a good pick. I think people are not picking him because what happened, but I think he'll be back week 15.
Well, right, and if you can pick him in round 15 and stash him on your injured reserve,
it's a great pick. And I love Alabama running backs. Travis Henry went there. And Chris Atwater loves Alabama. So anything Chris Atwater likes, I like, obviously.
Of course. Well, of course.
He preaches Alabama during the college football season. There's some great games on University of Pittsburgh's playing right now against West Virginia. Penn State's playing Purdue. There's some really good college football games, Case. So after we're done here, you can go to your man cave and watch some of these games.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Dan, you got to work. You have an all-nighter tonight for work, so you probably won't be able to watch anything. But
maybe not. But listen, the thing I love about college football at this point is what it means for Dynasty. You're watching those guys and you're seeing
you're scouting. You're working. You're scouting for next season.
I'm scouting for next season, of course. The Cleveland Browns defense from the Wad Squad, a Cleveland fan. It's a brave pick, Andy. But I like it. Okay, Chris Atwater says, I love Alabama Arbs too. Yes, indeed, Ross the boss. Okay, now I probably will take a defense unless there's an injured guy that I like.
Now you got to see who's playing week 1. You got to do your homework, Dr. Dan Ratner.
We do have 2 IR spots, by the way. I changed it for that, and then I didn't tell anybody. So I'm kidding. That's not what I did on purpose. But it is kind of what happened. My apologies. Wow.
That sounds driving me nuts.
You could take Odell Beckham with one of those IR.
It's giving you a
picks.
trigger, huh?
Don't use my words against me, Dr. Dan Ratner.
Called
I will not
gaslighting.
pick Odell.
Your show today, Dan does a show on Instagram, which I love. He talked about narcissists, which I love that topic, just so you know, because I know a lot of narcissists. None of us, but I'm telling you guys.
There went Mitch
What you were
Trubisky in
saying
the
is
final
so
round.
true for the people that I know that are narcissists. It was like dead on. It was
Thank you,
unbelievable.
sir. I appreciate it.
I loved it. And
Thank
if
you for the shout out.
If you guys haven't seen it, watch it. It's called Crushing Doubt. He picks topics that people that have this problem.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate the shout out. We've got a question coming in.
Okay, go.
JCJ says, how do you feel about this trade? Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel for Justin Jefferson, Javonte Williams, and Aaron Jones. Well, I'll tell you how I feel about it, JCJ. I think, and I hope I'm not insulting you by saying this, but I think that Justin Jefferson, Javonte Williams, and Aaron Jones wins that deal in a landslide.
Yeah, I would say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, Aaron Jones is a first rounder. Justin Jefferson's a first round guy. And Javonte Williams,
And
second
Christian
or third
McCaffrey
round.
might play 2 games this year.
Right. I mean, the injury risk, I mean, I think that's just a complete no-brainer. So we're about to wrap up this draft, guys. It's been really fun. Thank you guys for being with us. It's I do like this new interface quite a bit. Well, this is how we'll be doing it from now on, it looks like.
I really like it.
Yep. So the Hustler's going to round out his team. Does he pick a kicker? Does he pick an injured player? What's he going to do? Does he pick a second defense? We know he's not going to do that. He's taking his time with the kicker.
He's drawing it out.
Who's it going to be, Alex? You cannot have
enough kicker.
Harrison Butker. Zamir White, very good pick for that last round. We got the Saints defense going with Casey.
Okay, that sound means it's Dr. Dan Ratner time. Who's going to pick?
Now I need either a defense or kicker. I'm not going to waste time on a kicker, but this defense just always performs.
Who is it?
It's
all right, Mr. Irrelevant. Who's it going to be?
Who's it going to be? So Jason says, so the person that gets Justin Jefferson, Javonte, and Aaron Jones are winning the trade. According to me, hands down.
Absolutely.
All 3 of us say so. But JCJ,
Robert Tonyan, he's the tight end that Aaron Rodgers loves, and he's my backup tight end. Obviously, I have Schultz, but just in case it happens, sometimes there's Schultz. I feel good having him as a backup, so I probably would never use him unless it's a bye week, but we'll see.
Now, interestingly, the ticking sound didn't stop. The draft ended. The ticking sound is still kind of there.
Let's do some post-game show from the draft.
Let's do a little bit of wrap up, guys.
Who do you guys? Who are the big winners? Who are the big losers? Go.
Well, I got to look through these rosters.
Yeah, you got to give me time. I would say from what I saw in the first 7 or 8 rounds, the Hustler had an awesome team, and it doesn't look like it got worse.
Let's pick the Hustlers team.
Lamar Jackson and Trevor Lawrence is your 2 quarterbacks.
I like that a lot.
Najee Harris and Aaron Jones is your 2 running backs.
AJ
Brown, Terry McLaurin, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Elijah Moore at running back. At wide receiver with Sky Moore, Devontae Parker, and Jarvis Landry.
I really like that team. All right. Now, Chris Atwater says, South Coast offense killed it. Is he partial to his own team? Let's see. I'm going to look at it. Let's see. We've got at quarterback Kyler Murray and Tua.
I don't love his quarterback.
Do you have a third one?
I love Tua.
All right. Well, listen, Tua is going to be very key to his season.
It's so funny. People are saying like, oh, Waddle and Hill are going to have huge years. Yeah. Who's going to throw the ball to him? Tua.
So I like Tua. I'm just saying.
People argue with me all the time about Tua, and I'm saying if you like Waddle and Hill, you got to like Tua. It's
right because somebody's throwing the ball to him.
I mean, it's not.
But I mean, he's also got a lot of talent.
Throwing the ball to him. It's Tua.
So listen, he's got Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill. If that was last year, my God, he would have the best.
And Jerry Jeudy, Chris Olave.
He's got a pretty good team. Breece Hall and Josh Jacobs, probably underrated pickups at running back because of the Jets thing.
Ronald Jones, I don't trust. He's number 4 on their depth chart in Kansas City right now.
I'm a little worried about him. Spiller could be big.
Could be huge if
Watson and Tolbert are good. I think you got a solid team, Chris. But the other thing about Chris Atwater is
with the South Coast offense,
he knows some things I don't.
they don't play a lot of defense.
Let's see.
No.
I'm looking at some other teams. We've got this. This is a completely auto-drafted team, and the quarterback. This is an auto-drafted team. Now, this is auto-draft not taking care of a team.
Who? Captain Zach? Who?
Reveal has Mac Jones as his QB1, and guess who's his QB2? Nobody.
Doesn't have one. Yeah.
Now, what is AutoPick doing then? See, AutoPick is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Chris Atwater says, "Sweet home Alabama, baby." He loves his SEC. Yeah, I mean, how do you guys feel about your teams? We'll wrap up on this.
I like my team if it stays healthy. I mean, I'm worried about my quarterback too between Fields and Mayfield. I like Barkley and Etienne. I like Sutton, Marquise Brown, and Stephon Diggs at wide receiver. Knox and Kmet can be good tight ends. And then I took chance, like Jamison Williams can come in and be good. I like Mostert as a backup running back. If anything happens in Miami to Chase Edmonds, Mostert has shown he can run if he stays healthy.
Right.
Mostert, it just can't stay healthy, but I like Mostert too. He'll be the second option there.
And he's going to give you some great games, actually, in all likelihood.
Yeah.
It's just
and then I pick Lazard and Romeo Dubes just on the fact that Aaron Rodgers is going to be throwing the ball.
Ross, how about you? You like your team?
I love my two running backs. I have the number one quarterback, so I like that. I like that a lot.
Your first 3 picks were insane.
And then
fourth,
courtesy of Deandre Swift.
Now, Adam Thielen, I like just because I don't think Jefferson does not catch many touchdowns. Thielen, like I'll say this right now, I think Thielen will have more touchdowns than Jefferson this year. That's my prediction.
Well, he's supposed to be a big red zone target, and he always has been.
I like Adam a lot. Just he has to stay healthy. And I like how I took an extra quarterback, which I like a lot too, just in case if somebody goes down or for trade bait. I like that one. I love, again, my big breakout guys that Isaiah Pacheco of Kansas City. I think he's going to be a big breakout running back. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. He's the best running back in Kansas City, hands down, and the coaches know that. So they'll work him in, and he'll get that job. I mean, he'll be the running back in Kansas City by week 4 or 5. You heard it from me first, Ross the boss.
Okay, now we're going to analyze my team here. I just have to ask you guys, what do you think? This was a controversial pick. What do you think about Deandre Swift?
I actually don't mind him. I don't think I would have taken him in the second round, but if I got him in the 3rd or 4th, I would have been really happy with him.
Yeah, well, I felt the same way.
Do you watch Hard Knocks this season?
I did not get to watch it because
the finale's next week. Deandre Swift is a big part of the offense this year. I mean, he was great last year. He had some big, huge games in Detroit. I love Dave Campbell as a coach. I think Swift's going to be catching the ball, running the ball. It's a good pick. I know you're down on it, but
listen, I also feel a lot better because my running back depth is so good now. I feel really good about it. Where I'm thinnest is wide receiver, aside from kicker. But
your receiver, you have Williams and Gabe Davis is a good.
I have Williams and Gabe Davis, and then I have Dotson coming in. Ideally, I'd like to have one more receiver at least that I feel really good about.
Well, again, let me preface it something to you guys.
What's that?
Work the waiver wire during the season. That's why you do it. There's going to be some breakout receivers that are not drafted that we don't even know who they are right now. That you have to work the waiver wire. That's why it's so important to watch our show. We'll tell you guys who to pick up during the season. And the hustler pick. That's how he wins his league every year. He uses the waiver wire like a maniac.
Yep, and as Chris Atwater points out, we can also use trades too. I'm definitely going to.
I mean, you can trade. You're so down on Deandre Swift. I'll be making an offer tonight, and hopefully you're still down on him, and maybe you just want to erase your memory of the guy and just get somebody else in there. So
yeah, because the best way to erase the memory of a bad draft pick is to trade him to some other team and have him explode on their roster. Then you can feel even worse. All right, guys. We're going to wrap up in a minute, but I do want to just put in a plug for our waiver wire show. It's Mondays at 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 5:15 p.m. Pacific, and it's every week. It's going to start on Monday, September 12th. The season's coming up. We're going to be talking about the players to pick up. You got to be paying attention because
we'll talk about this league too. We'll show you guys results and show you guys what we're doing in this league as a reference because we actually have like the draft, on recorded, so you guys can actually pay attention and learn something.
That's right. All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. This has been a blast. We look forward to following this league throughout the season. We'll talk about how everybody's doing. We'll talk about how these picks worked out. Lots to talk about, and we will see.
Oh, really
all...
quick before we leave.
Yes.
Lee Silverman texted me, and he says, "My team sucks, but tell Dan I got receivers."
All right. Well, listen.
I have receivers too, so
good. I know where to go. See,
So
this
Lee's
is where
Lee's
Ross
gonna be
always says, "Go
Lee's
against the
gonna be
grain."
very active. You guys will love Lee. He's been on MFSM before. He'll be very active, which is gonna be fun.
Well, Lee, we're glad to have you in the league with us, and I definitely I love that there are places I can go for receivers because I do need them. All right, guys, we're signing off. This has been MFSN's Fantasy Football 2002 Draft Superflex League. It's been great. We look forward to a good year. We will see you on the Waiver Wire show Monday, September 12th. That's 8:15 p.m. Eastern, 5:15 p.m. Pacific. Can't wait to see you all. Thank you, Ross the Boss. Thank you, Casey, Vlad,
Thank
the
you,
Bone
Daniel.
Shinevold. It's been great.
Good night.